Times contributor and former House GOP Oversight Committee advisor. Kurt, am I right to point out, since you have seen this from both sides of the aisle, the double standard in how this is handled?
Yeah, there absolutely is. There's no doubt about it, which is why, as we know that, it's kind of mind-numbing that Republicans would just so openly walk into this trap and put themselves in this position. Like, what happens next and how the media covers this isn't going to be a surprise or a shock to either one of us. And yet here's Speaker McCarthy, bowing to the will of a few crazy people in this conference to drag his entire caucus and the entire Republican Party into this charade. And it's just going to backfire tremendously. And it's like you said in your opening, because it was 100% right. At a time when you could make the case credibly that the president is at his weakest, where his poll numbers are under 40%, where there's legitimate consternation and discussion about his fitness and his age, when there's no enthusiasm from the Democratic Party base, why on earth would you throw him a lifeline like impeachment that will necessitate that the entire party apparatus rally around Joe Biden? Why would you do that?
It is befuddling to me. Republicans I talk to, and look, there's some who stand behind this and say, look, we got to do this. But the vast majority of them privately are just shaking their heads and want nothing to do with this. The only thing I can think of, and look, you got to give Kevin McCarthy his due in terms of how he has, at least so far, held Republicans together. And to be fair, when it came to the debt ceiling, he pulled truly a rabbit out of his hat and put Joe Biden in a very uncomfortable position. I'm almost wondering whether he's doing this intentionally, right? You force Republicans to have this impeachment inquiry. It fails on a vote when it's brought before the House floor. And then he turns it around and says, hey, to the crazies, to the Matt Gaetz and the instigators of this. Look, your beef isn't with me. Your beef's with the other moderate Republicans who voted against this. Now we all have to move on.
I think that's a dangerous gambit if that's really what Kevin's doing, because you're going to have this unfold, mind you, at the same time that there are negotiations and deliberations about the budget, that we're facing a possible government shutdown if they can't get anything done there. And can you imagine the political fallout of doing this impeachment that nobody in America really wants, while also dealing with a government shutdown where the same crazies that compelled him into impeachment will be holding the federal government hostage? That's not a good combination to happen at the same time.
Yeah, Rule number one in Washington, doesn't matter whether Republicans are in Congress or in the White House, Republicans always lose a government shutdown. Just sort of is like, a truth about Washington. Kurt, I want to be fair to Kevin McCarthy and to House Republicans who are calling for this impeachment inquiry. And we said at the top, we're not going to deal with sort of the facts at hand about what Joe Biden did or didn't do. But by launching an impeachment inquiry, do they get greater powers of subpoena and investigation than the House Oversight Committee currently has looking into this?
Yeah, because they're not limited by whatever the congressional, Judiciary Committee or oversight rules are. And there are very specific rules that are written for each committee of what boundaries they can really go into. And one of the things that's about congressional committees is there has to be a, quote, legislative purpose to justify whatever information they're after. Well, when you have an impeachment inquiry, that is the legislative person. That becomes a function of Congress, an act of Congress. And so you can subpoena things and try to get witnesses and literally put on a trial. I just think that, again, it's dicey, because there's a rule that we have. You never ask a question unless you know what the answer is and unless you have the evidence underlying to back it up. That was what we did at the Oversight Committee when I was there working for Darrell Issel. We did Fast and Furious. When we did Benghazi. When we did IRS targeting conservative groups.
Hold on. You say
question.
Yeah. Yeah, well, also, though, with Benghazi, it didn't really work out well for Republicans there because they thought they had so much, and it didn't turn out. There was a few things that came out, but the receipts just.
Well, we knew we knew that Hillary Clinton didn't have emails. That was a fact that we knew before anybody else did. So when we initially asked that question, people were like, "Wait, what?" And that's what made it credible. Here with Hunter and Joe, it's like they don't really have the goods yet from what I've seen. Maybe they'll get it, but right now they don't. That's a tough position to put yourself into legally as a lawyer, if you will, trying to prosecute cases. You don't have the goods. You don't know if the goods exist, but you're still going to move forward with this. That's a dangerous gambit to make.
It's a very dangerous gamble politically, especially as we head into the election. I'm looking behind you on the kitchen counter. It looks like you got either a dinner party or at least a good time coming tonight. So we wish you well. We appreciate you taking some time. There's some olive oil back there. Whatever you're cooking looks good. We'll be over for dinner later, my friend. Thank you.
We'll see you. Hey, it's burger night here at Casa de Michael O'Neill.
Oh, all right. Oh, burgers. I like that. All right. We'll talk soon, my friend. See you soon. We're